Welcome back to GBGuns, and if you truly are back and have been with the channel any length of time, you know that Tia and I are fans of the Mossberg pistols. The MC2sc is one of only two single stack 9s that I find reasonably comfortable to shoot, great trigger, and this safety mechanism, cross bolt style, kind of a nod to some shotguns or rifles if you will. Don't use it if you don't want it, or get one without it if you don't want it. Like on our MC2sc, which of course is the fuller size double stack. Well, we were just recently at our publisher's event and Mossberg was there and they had something new. I didn't have a written assignment on it, but I pleaded with them and said, hey, please, we're Mossberg fans, love these pistols, can we show our folks your new pistol? They agreed, and so that's what we're going to look at next on GBGuns. Now, pardon the packaging, this is actually one of the guns that was at that event. It's on loan to us. We got back from the event, so did Mossberg. They got the thing cleaned back up and sent it right back out to us, just so we could show it to you. So, packaging, etc., not quite in the same condition you might buy it in, but the important part is the MC2sc is inside here. Also inside, of course, you get your trigger lock, but this one actually Mossberg branded, which is kind of cool. We've got an extended magazine, some hardware for the optics plate, and our paperwork. We'll take a look at the paperwork real quick and then get on to the gun. In fact, I think this time we're going to skip the paperwork because I realize it is the same manual that was with the other two. It hasn't, at least at the time that this one was put together, they don't have a specific owner's manual for this model because it shares so much in common with what's different about it is what most people are calling the micro compact size of guns. A little stack and a half, not quite double stack gun, upping your capacity. We've got an 11 rounder and with the extension of 14 rounder plus one, so 12 or 15 rounds. Mossberg is not calling it a micro compact, at least not to my knowledge at this point, just a subcompact, and I think they kind of get away with that because part of what we love so much about the first two is how thin they are. Even this guy being a double stack fits very thin in the hand, yet not thin like some of those other super slim guns that came out in the 2000s that actually hurt to shoot because there wasn't enough breadth to distribute recoil on the hand. Really nice shooting, super thin pistols. So chopping the MC2 down a little bit, MC2sc subcompact, is essentially what they did. And you notice that it retains the memory point up front that the MC2sc did and the MC1sc lacked. And a few other things. I'll get these guns out of the way and we'll take a closer look. In an attempt to clarify the subcompact nature of this, if we take the MC1sc and set it side by side, we can see that we've got same slide length, same barrel length, little bit thicker, just a touch thicker, and of course a little bit longer with this extended magazine in here. So is it a micro compact? Well, that depends on the official dictionary definition of a micro compact, which does not exist. It is a subcompact of the MC2. However, if we take like the 365XL with its 15 round mag and the MC2sc with its 14 round mag and line them up, we can see that our width is about the same. Barrel on the SIG a teensy bit longer, but overall about the same size, just a little bit different shape at the bottom. So if the SIG 365XL is a micro compact, then sure, this can be considered a micro compact, but its overall features are more in line with the MC2sc than the MC1sc. The mags themselves are engraved with MC2, and in fact this mag from my MC2sc does fit and lock the slide open. I wouldn't encourage ever using a magazine without a sleeve there because jamming it in, especially if you're a mag slapper, you run the risk of damaging ejector or the top of the magazine. But I just want to show you that this is, in fact, true to the MC2 family despite its small size. Maybe that's because it's subcompact. Alright, enough with that. Show clear, using those nice front serrations. and we'll come around the front of the gun. YouTube, I am not doing a suicide ideation or suggesting it to anyone. I'm just showing the front of the gun. You got this nice smooth rounded kind of, I think they called it a bowl shape, when that used to be the thing that people paid to have done to their Glocks. We still have a rail of sorts, but it looks like it's going to be proprietary. There's no pick underneath. It's going to be some sort of clamp on. Nice memory spot, and this, the camera may or may not be showing it. It's more than just texture. There's actually an indentation there. It goes inward, and I like that one shooting on this side for finger straight while not shooting, and on this side for my support thumb to kind of dig in and use sort of like a gas pedal, which helps a lot with controlling muzzle flip, especially on a short gun. A little bit of texture on the front of the trigger guard for those who like to do the extended grip style there. It's a flat trigger and with a safety in the middle that comes just about vertical. The brake is at 90 degrees. Reset has a lot of spring pressure behind it and kicks you just forward of that brake. Those second shots, it's a pretty clean brake. That's nice. Now this particular model has the crossbolt safety. When pushed from the left, the trigger is locked. Disengaged from the right side to use the safety. I know some folks don't like those, just don't use it if you don't like it. The front strap has checkering with side-to-side resistance. I wish it was more of a vertical, horizontal cut there. Underneath we do have a little bit of beveling, magazine well-ish, but really with double stack single feed mags, your mag serves as the magazine well. You don't need something added to your gun unless you're just terrible at practicing. We have a little bit of overhang on the back here, which is great for indexing for that mag insertion. And the same texturing we saw on the other two Mossbergs, which has nice grip here and smooth sections kind of intermixed. What I found with the other guns is they're very controllable to shoot, so either that's working or it's just great ergonomics. Slide to frame fit, almost forgot. We got that wobble side to side, nothing vertical. On the back end, a little bit of wobble of, seems the slide's got some play for sure. Same texturing on the back strap as we saw on the front. Our 3 dots, nice and bright. And of course these serrations, which are very grippy, work very well. I'm going to assume, I don't have all the information on this model yet, but that this optics plate is for your micro optics, since it is a very narrow slide. On the right side we can see that our magazine release is possibly reversible, although I doubt it. This side being cut a little bit differently, I don't think it's going to be there. But overall, very nice construction. I've shot a mag through this, or two, briefly at our media event, and found it really enjoyable, so I'm expecting good things. Next we'll field strip this and take a look inside the gun. Those of you who've been paying attention may have noticed the lack of takedown levers. That's because the Mossberg pistols come apart a little bit differently. Good news is no trigger pull required for those who are uncomfortable with that. We're going to check for clear, but even if it's not clear, it doesn't really matter because you're going to lock the slide back. Then we're going to remove this rear plate. The center is a button. Push down in with your finger and pull off. Once that's off, you remove the striker. No excuse for not cleaning your striker anymore. And the slide comes right off the front. Pretty cool setup there. You can see our construction internally in the frame looks pretty standard. Good amount of wear on this, it already being a demo gun. We've got a dual captured recoil spring, which is cool. All steel construction. I'm going to tap our barrel down to unlock it forward a little bit, and it'll come out. And you can take a look inside the slide. Basic modern striker design. Next we'll check for chamber fitment, and that'll be done with our nozzler match. Been using this ammunition for years for this because it is some of the most precisely built ammo I've encountered. We're dropping in, listening for that clunk, which we heard, and what we're looking for here is how well supported is this chamber. Had to tap the brass to get it all the way in. Might have been a little oil, might just be a snug chamber. We'll find out more when we shoot this. And you can see that we are a little unsupported under here, like mini Glocks. Otherwise, looks pretty good, pretty normal. Yeah, I think the oil is causing a little bit of a seal in there because that round didn't want to fall out. But it might be tight. We'll find out in our shooting impressions. Do our what's for dinner test and see what the gun will and will not eat. Reassembly, we're going to drop our barrel back in. Followed by a recoil assembly, which will sit on a little ledge in there. Slide back on the frame and lock the slide open. Drop our striker in. This may not be the textbook way of doing this, but it is what works for me. And then you notice the striker is sticking forward of that little channel right there. That channel is where the sides of this need to go. So I use the tail of this thing to push down on our the yellow plastic tube there and slide it into place. That's it. Get it all back together. Quick functions check. Fires and resets. Safety still works. We're good to go. I like that mag, I think. That's perfect. That's just big enough for me to get all 3 fingers on. What usually happens to me with smaller guns is something like this. And that makes the gun a little flippier. But when we get this to the range, you can expect both Miss Tia and I to give you our cold shot impressions. We'll do the what's for dinner test, see what the gun eats and doesn't eat, using multiple loads of different types of ammunition. The spinner test for sights and trigger control evaluation. Then some accuracy shots, just free-handed, to collect up our thoughts and give you our overall opinion of the MC2sc. I don't want to be spoiler alert here because I've already got some great impressions of it, and I think it's going to be a spectacular pistol, just like the rest of its family. However, we never know until we get out to the range and do that second test. Pretty cool addition. I think with it being called a subcompact, not a micro compact, it might miss some of the buzz flavor of the day going on with all of the micro compacts. But as a larger handed guy, the fact that I can get my whole hand on this thing and that we've got the gas pedal memory points and things tells me this is going to be a lot more shootable for me than many of the smaller pistols out there. If you've seen one of these on the store shelves and have an opinion, or if you own either one of these two, let us know what your thoughts are on these guns. What your experiences have been. For us, it's been nothing but positives so far. We'll see you on the range. Thanks for watching.